Welcome back to the Political Science Part 2. We are going to study today social justice and equality. But yesterday we had seen that our constitution has adopted democracy for our country. Now today, social justice and equality. My dear students, earlier, prior to independence, our society was divided into so many castes, creed, religion, rich and poor, and therefore society was there was no equality among the society. Society was divided in different several groups, and therefore our constitution very well thought to establish equality in the society, and we must have social justice. Society had society had four different caste: higher caste, and the lower caste, and the lower caste. These lower caste and lower caste people were deprived of all the rights of the society. They were not given any rights of the society. Very few people of the society were enjoying all the rights of the society. And therefore, my dear student, Constitution has very well thought of giving the society the social justice and equality. And why Constitution has taught this is to establish a new society based on these two values, social justice and equality. Our Constitution wanted to remove the social condition which are responsible for injustice. Injustice was done on the lower people, the lower caste people, and this injustice was done by the higher caste people, and this was the condition over here, and therefore Constitution wanted to remove this social condition and to end the discrimination. Discrimination was done, again I would like to tell you, on the caste, the higher caste and the lower caste. So this discrimination was supposed to get ended with this social justice and equality. Constitution also wants to bring all sections of society into the mainstream. Our democracy can adopt so many different people into mainstream. There are some people who are staying in the forest, the tribals. They are away from the mainstream. There are some people who are considered lower. There are some people who are very poor. And therefore, our constitution wants to adopt all these people and to bring them into the mainstream so that to establish social justice and equality. We go on to next topic, my dear student, that is policy on reservation of seats. Reservation of seat is been given by the constitution for the deprived sections of the society. I have told you that society was already had discrimination on superiority and inferiority. Some people were considered high people and low people. So these lower people were deprived of so many things. They were not allowed to get education, my dear student. Women sections, girls were not allowed to get education. They were deprived of this, and therefore, this for these deprived sections of the society, government has given us, the constitution has given us the reservation for education and employment. In the government services, seats are kept reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So the constitution has made a list of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Those people should get opportunity of education, free education till the age of 14, and employment also they should get, that is scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Not only scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, but also for OBC people, they should also get this employment opportunity as well as education. And to do this, The Constitution wants to establish social justice, and therefore this reservation is given for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people. My dear students, we move on to next topic, Prevention of Atrocity Act. Atrocity means atyachar, अन्याय. So to prevent this justice and my dear students, we move on to next topic is to establish justice and equality in the society. This act is very important to present any to prevent any injustice. My dear student, injustice is done on scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. To prevent this injustice, any act of atrocity is liable for punishment. So if on scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, if any atyachar, anyay is done on these people, then they are liable for punishment. The next point is provision for minorities. Our Indian Constitution give protection for minorities. Now you must be wondering, what is minority? Minorities means the people, the percentage of people who are less in number, less than 20% of majority of the people. So they are considered as minority. I'll give you an example. That is, Hindus are majority. On the other hand, Muslim, Jain, Buddhist, Christian, these are minority people. They are in less number, and therefore our Indian Constitution gives protection to these minorities. Government has adopted several policies to give protection to these people, and that is education and employment. My dear student, these minorities can establish schools of their own, that is minority schools, and government has created for these people, minority people, and employment opportunities. No discrimination is done on the basis of caste, religion, race, language, and region. I told you that earlier our society was based on caste, and higher caste were enjoying all the rights, but the lower caste were not given at all any rights. They were deprived of so many things. Then there is no religion as superior religion and inferior religion. For example, when Britishers were there, they used to consider that Christianity is superior and other religions are inferior. But now, before the Constitution, no religion is superior or inferior, and that is why yesterday we studied secularism. So all religion are same before the Constitution. Then next one is the race. No white people are superior and black people are inferior. Languages. English language is superior and other languages are inferior. No discrimination. No region. For example, Mumbai or Maharashtra is superior and other region is inferior. So no discrimination is done by this law of prevention for minority. Whether the person is from any region, any caste, any religion, any race, any language, no discrimination has to be done. To protect right of equality, freedom, right against exploitation, and culture and education, provision for minority is done. To their rights are protected, their freedom is protected. No exploitation has to be done on them. Otherwise, we have studied earlier the Atrocity Act. If exploitation is there, any atyachar, anyay is done on them, then such people would be put behind the bar. Then their culture has to be preserved and they should be given right of education. I told you earlier, weaker sections of the society, the lower caste people, the tribal people were not allowed to go to school. They were not given the rights of education. Now our constitution give these rights to the minority people also.
Hmm.
Next point is laws relating to women and provision for representation. In the post-independent period, my dear students, the efforts were made to empower women. As I told you earlier, my dear student, women or the girls were not allowed to get education. They have to look after the children and the kitchen, chul animul. So their whole world was belongs to these two things. Now our constitution wants to empower them, and now you see that quite a many women are going out for work. They go work and come back home. They support their family. So this is empowerment. To remove the problems of women, government, the constitution has several policies have been made, and their problems were solved. Several policies have been adopted by national and international level. At national and international level, as you know, Women's Year was celebrated, and also Women's Day is celebrated. You must be knowing when do we celebrate Women's Day. So that is at international level and national level also it is being done. And why it has been done is to remove illiteracy among the women. So every woman child, every girl should get education, and free education till the age of 14. To make opportunities for their development, we have to, government is trying their best, and they are making provision for representation. My dear students, women section are not given any representation in the politics. Earlier, women were not supposed to come in the politics. Now, slowly, their representation is increasing. We are going to see how it is being increased. Students, earlier, women sections were not given any right in their father's or husband's property. So here, right to have equal share in the property. Either it is father's property or the husband's property. For example, father has two children. One is boy and the other one is girl. And girl is married to another man and she's gone. But even then, our constitution has given the right for this girl to have equal share in the property. So the father's property is divided in among between both the children. Then we have the Dowry Prohibition Act. Dowry means Dahej or Hunda, and girl's father has to pay this to the husband's father in cash or in creed. So this is prohibited now. Dowry is not allowed. Acts against sexual harassment. So women sections are sexually harassed, and therefore our constitution has made this act not to harass sexually, and domestic violence is done against them. So my dear student, what is domestic violence? For example, acid attack or the burn cases, and in such a way women are domestically tortured, and therefore against such violation the act is been done, that is domestic violation act. In this way the laws protect women sections. In our country, women have given inadequate representation in the assembly, in the parliament, and therefore, my dear student, act is been made against this. That government has given 33% of the representation to women section in the local self-governing bodies. Yesterday, I have told you what is local self-governing bodies. That is, through the Panchayat Raj, it has come down to us. That is, Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti, Jilla Parishad. Then at city level, not Panchayat Samiti, the Nagar Parishad, and at the higher level, it is corporation. In this, government has given 33% of reservation for women, but not in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, only at the local self-governing bodies. Keep that in mind. And I would like to mention here that although government has made provision in the amendment, yesterday we have seen 73rd and 74th amendment. Amendment means the change in the constitution. 73rd and 74th amendment, government has given this 33% of reservation for women. Our Maharashtra has given 50% of reservation for women. This is a good achievement done by Maharashtra, and I think slowly the whole central government will also follow this. So this is provision for representation. Women section has to get more representation in the governing bodies, in the government. My dear students, here is a bar graph of representation of women in the Lok Sabha. First election was held in 1951-52. At that time, 22 MPs were elected and the percentage of women was 4.50. Then I have skipped in between. I go directly to 1961 and 61-62. 31 MPs were elected and this percentage went to 6.82. 1977 was the lowest and 19 MPs were elected. The percentage was 3.51. In the election of 1991, 39 MPs, women MP were elected and their percentage increased from 3.51 to 7.30. In 2004, 45 MPs were elected from women and the percentage was 8.29. And in the election of 2014, 66 women MPs were elected and the percentage went up to 12.15. So from this graph, you would see that only 12.15% of women representation is there in Lok Sabha. And therefore, government has made an act to increase 33% of seats reserved for women, not for Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, but for local self-governing bodies. So, in this way, my dear student, women are coming forward and taking part in the politics. They are getting education, and therefore, more and more women are coming into politics. They are taking part, and we have the example that Pratibha Tai Patil was there as president of our India. Then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was there. Sushma Swaraj was also there. in the politics, and she was elected during 2014. So in this way, women's representation is increasing in the politics, and Constitution has made provision for representation of women. Just have a look of the representation of women in Lok Sabha chart from the book. You can draw a pie or chart or bar graph of your own. In this lecture, my dear students, we have studied social justice and equality. And in the next lecture, we are going to see judiciary and judicial system. Goodbye and have a nice day.